and welcome to the next session on data analytics. After discussing the data visualization, let us now explore what is descriptive analytics. The topic is divided into two parts. Today we shall discuss the first part, and in the next session we shall see the second part of the descriptive analytics. Let us begin our session with the definition of descriptive analytics. Descriptive analytics tries to answer what has happened. It does exactly what the name implies. It describes. It summarizes the past data and provides insights to the policymakers. When we talk about the past data, it has got a wide meaning. It could be the data which has been captured a minute ago or the data which has been captured a year ago. Let us see an example. What is descriptive analytics in the scenario of audit? In the case of audit, descriptive analytics will provide an understanding of the past transactions that have occurred in the organization. It will also involve aggregation of individual transactions and thus provides meaning and context to the individual transactions in a larger perspective. It will also summarize the data through numerical or visual descriptions. Let us also see now what it doesn't do. Descriptive analytics rarely attempts to investigate or to establish the causal relationship among the variables. It is because descriptive analytics is limited to surface analysis and it doesn't go beyond that. Because of these characteristics, the validity of the result is easily implemented. Let us now explore what role does it play for the public administrators. In the planning stage, the descriptive analysis are valuable when determining whether an intervention is needed or how to design a needed intervention to be most effective. For the demonstration purpose, let me give you an example. As per NSS survey 2017-18, around 24% of the Indian households have the internet connection. Now, if I divide it into two parts, rural and urban, rural area has less than 15% households that are having internet connectivity, and in the urban area it is around 42%. We also know that a large number of children were left out from attending the online classes during the pandemic. Why? Because they did not have the internet accessibility. Does it help you to plan for an alternate strategy, or does it think you to find out the efficacy of this existing policy? This is just one of the ways how the descriptive analytics can be helpful to the public administrators to plan for an intervention strategy. In the next stage, the descriptive analytics can also provide assessments of target populations that are more or less likely to have a positive response to an intervention. So, this helps us to have our targeting interventions. When you realize that the males are more susceptible to COVID-19 as compared to the female counterparts, does it help you to identify a target group for a possible intervention strategy? Therefore, we can conclude that descriptive analytics could be useful when it discovers the pattern in the data which can help us to take a decision. However, the pattern to be meaningful, it should be socially relevant. Now, let us explore the steps that are being involved with the descriptive analytics. You can see the steps on your screen. Once we identify an area of concern like education, public health, public finance, descriptive analytics helps us to identify which features of that particular phenomenon are most salient. It helps us to identify which aspects, concepts are necessary to describe the phenomenon and which are not. The answers to these questions are likely to reveal what type of data collection will be most applicable for the study. The researcher's conceptualization of the phenomenon will determine how to best organize the data for the analysis and reduce the data for the description. It also helps us to determine whether there are observable patterns in the data or not. We may use a wide range of investigative and the statistical methods to scrutinize the data for patterns and relationships that describe the key concepts of the phenomenon. Sometimes we may review the data with an expectation that a certain pattern exists. However, sometimes the patterns emerge from a more general exploration of the data. Next, it communicates the patterns in the data that describes the realities of the phenomenon. So, what type of data presentation is best suited to depict the phenomenon? The answer to this question usually depends heavily on the intended audience and the type of data representations that they are comfortable interpreting. After identifying any patterns in the data, the job is to reduce the body of data to a format which is best suited to a particular audience. An effort may include thousands of analyses, but good presentation captures the essence of the phenomenon. And finally, the last point you can say it's written, rethink and repeat as needed. Why? Because the process of descriptive analytics is iterative, with each step building upon others and requiring reconsideration and modification of the phenomenon. With this brief overview, we conclude our session. Next session, we shall see some more characteristics of descriptive analytics. Thank you.